Incredible Pizza Warr Acres. Despite being small for an amusement park, I love the feel of Incredible Pizzas. And Incredible Pizza Conroe was essentially my home park for years. So being able to finally visit Incredible Pizza Company Warr Acres was a real treat, especially as I missed visiting on my first visit to Frontier City in Oklahoma. But what can you expect from this park? Find out in this review. Of note, Incredible Pizza seems to be in the process of rebranding to Incredible Food and Fun, which is what it says on their website. But almost all of the signage inside of the restaurant still says Incredible Pizza, and I'm pretty partial to the old name due to my history with it. So I will use that throughout this review. Incredible Pizza is a 50s themed pizza buffet with themed areas. The diner is a classic diner area, though I normally don't eat in there. The family room is a house themed room, and my favorite, Warr Acres High School Gymnasium, is a sports themed high school gym eating area with TVs, normally set to ESPN. For the buffet, Incredible Pizza has more than just pizza, salad, and pasta. They also cater to kids with corn dogs, tacos, and other various foods for an overall decent buffet lineup. The food quality, however, is not great, with pizza being edible and worse than Cece's. But the dessert lineup is a plus, and I enjoyed being able to get my soft-served ice cream along with a good lineup of desserts. And I really liked the various cookies that they had out on their buffet at this location. Plus the soda fountains are just a nice touch, since I do like my fruit refills. And just being able to balance between playing and eating and playing and eating is a great perk of any place. As for the attractions, the point of Incredible Pizza is to get lost in that midway. Normally this back area is called the fairgrounds, but here it's clearly labeled the midway, and it is a big setup that is enjoyable just to walk around. Mini bowling isn't a full game of bowling, only 5 frames, so it just feels a bit short, but it is enjoyable for what it is. Laser tag is my favorite attraction, as you have an interesting aquatic theme complete with a cute pre-show to explain the rules. And then the arena offers a second story, so it's great to walk up there and shoot at other players, walking down below you, while giving a lot of variety to the overall experience. The mini golf course had nice but not over-the-top theming on its holes, though this made it enjoyable to see each state as you played through your 8 holes of golf. This course was also easy enough for me to shoot par on, so I didn't have to fear the Arizona hole like I did in Tulsa. The Oklahoma hole did get me a little bit though. La Bamba is an average spinning ride if you hold on tightly. If not, you are bumped around, which is a unique take on spinning. It looks like a very small ride, but has a weight limit of 195 pounds, so some to most adults should be able to ride. It did get me very dizzy and has a decently long cycle, so do avoid or save until last if you're prone to getting dizzy. There is a neat set of bumper cars, and the square layout actually helps with this. Plus there's no sign, so I guess you can run into the walls, which is really fun with these types of bumper cars. You also get a little dizzy when you spin. The Scrambler has a neat history of originating in 1955 at Coney Island. While going around, it has a jerking motion as you're pushed into the various turns. It is nothing great, but unique for a Scrambler, and I really appreciate the history of it. The go-karts offer a nice track, and I was able to actually pass people, but maybe they just weren't going full speed. So it is not too fast for go-karts, but I did find it fun for what it was. Lastly, the spinning coaster that puts this park on the map for a coaster enthusiast like me. Normally, these spinning coasters aren't my favorite, and with only 4 laps, it does feel short. There's not much force on it, so it wasn't as good as other FVFV spinners that I've been on. I did get spinning after the drop when I sat in the front of the back car, so likely it just kinda depends when it comes to spinning. I'm not a big fan of spending money on ticket games, since obviously you're putting a lot of money into machines for not that much return in tickets. But if you get a good package to make things cheaper, there's a great lineup of video games to play. My favorite games are going to be skee ball and the basketball shooting game, as these are just enjoyable. I've tried these at other Incredible Pizza locations, but with getting the cheaper package, I did pass on the games here. But you can really have your pick of top-notch arcade games when you get tired of the attractions and food, with of course plenty of prizes that you can get when you're ready to redeem your tickets. If you're trying to pair this with Frontier City on a coaster trip, this should be more than doable. They are closed on Mondays, except for holiday Mondays, so do keep that in mind, as that's why I missed this park on my first trip to OKC. It is about a 20 to 30 minute drive from Frontier City, so not right next door, but easy enough. And with Frontier City having evening hours for summer weekdays in 2025, I was able to eat here for lunch before enjoying a nap and a full evening at Frontier City. With family entertainment centers, the type of business model Incredible Pizza is, you do have to be careful with price, since the arcade games and attractions are pay per ride, and they are not cheap. However, Incredible Pizza offers a few packages. Currently, they have switched to promoting a 2-hour unlimited attraction pass, 3 hours on weekends. You can still get a cheap package at $21 for one attraction and a game card, likely a fine deal if you're just looking to ride the coaster and eat. The $31 package doesn't offer much more though, as it is only one additional attraction and $5 more on the game card, which is essentially that $10 price difference. Last year, they had a bunch of different packages with attractions and game cards, and I'd like to review these as they do change their packages often. On my visit to Tulsa's Incredible Pizza, I bought the Ultimate Eat and Play package with 6 attractions for $46 plus tax. Although expensive, this is on par with the cost of, or cheaper than, riding all the rides at a similar style amusement park, and these normally do not include a buffet. And despite not being unlimited, it was still more than enough for my 2.5 hours at the park, as I still had some money left on my game card when the park closed for the night. And that was after doing every attraction once and the coaster 3 times, plus playing all of the video games that caught my eye. So a lesser package than the most expensive likely would have been fine. If you only want to do a few attractions around the Midway, these tend to be in the $30 to $40 price range anyways, so they're not that much cheaper. I used a summer online special for my visit to Incredible Pizza Warr Acres. You just had to get the barcode on your phone, or really just mention it when you were ordering at the register. The Stars and Stripes was by far the best deal, as it came with 4 attractions and a $20 game card for only $30, so it was very reasonable. If you start with a scrambler as I did, this also allowed me to do all of the attractions, including mini golf and mini bowling, once. I got 2 laps on the coaster since they did not scan my card at laser tag for some reason. The price difference still wasn't a lot between the highest package, the 6 attraction one, and this best deal, which is in part why these packages were streamlined to an unlimited time deal. The problem is, 2 hours is a bit short to be in the park, as I'd really like to be able to bounce back and forth between the rides and the buffet. And the 2 hours does start on your very first swipe, so you definitely can eat before playing. When at the San Antonio location, my only experience with the 2-hour special, the operations were pretty slow, with many guests riding their rides, and I was only able to get about 3 rides per half hour. This is notable as they do rotate the rides. Warr Acres was rotating every 10 minutes on my visit, though San Antonio was doing so every half hour. This makes it even more difficult to do everything in 2 hours, as you will have to be strategic about when you do attractions. And laser tag and go-karts are just going to eat a large amount of time as well. If there's no line, the attendants were letting kids rescan their cards and ride again, but the loading process can still just take a while. Overall, how good is incredible Pizza Warr Acres? This is a simple family entertainment center with great charm, and I love the atmosphere and overall vibe of incredible pizza. None of the individual rides stand out as stellar, but together they create a wonderful experience for a very enjoyable evening with fun go-karts and laser tag. Plus, being able to eat as much as one wants is always a huge plus. Larger amusement parks will still be my preference to travel to, like the nearby Frontier City, but this is a fun place that should give a fine time to all guests, and I'll gladly visit here when I can. Just do be careful about the price, and maybe do a bit of planning so that you're spending the appropriate amount of money for your group. What has your experience been at Incredible Pizza Company, Warr Acres? Do you feel like this is a great place to visit? Let me know, and as always, Kapkun Krap.
Chicken.